Today, we will hear from former Homeland Security intelligence officials, as well as national security and civil rights experts, on their views of the appropriate roles, responsibilities, and authorities for the Department of Homeland Security's Office of Intelligence and Analysis. I would like to thank each of our witnesses for joining us today and for their work in the public and private sectors to protect the American people. Today's testimony will give the committee critical insight into how the Office of Intelligence and Analysis operates and what roles it should play in providing threat assessment and domestic terrorism intelligence to Department of Homeland Security leadership, state and local law enforcement partners, and other private entities. We will also hear testimony on how to ensure citizens' fundamental civil rights and civil liberties are safeguarded as we work to better tackle a rising domestic terrorism threat. Earlier this year, the committee heard about how systemic breakdowns in planning and preparation led to the deadly attack on the United States Capitol, the heart of our democracy. The Office of Intelligence and Analysis, along with other intelligence and counterterrorism agencies, failed to effectively identify the threat on January 6th. We need to understand the factors that led to that failure and what concrete steps can be taken to better understand the current threats that we face and ensure the Department of Homeland Security is effectively sharing information with local and state law enforcement. I appreciate the hard work and the ongoing dedication of the national security experts in the Office of Intelligence and Analysis, and I recognize they have challenges and face challenges that they must address. However, it is apparent that the office must also do more to effectively counter the rising threats posed by white supremacists and anti-government violence that threatens communities all across our country. One of the greatest challenges the Office of Intelligence and Analysis has faced is the pressure to politicize domestic terrorism threats. Under the previous administration, the office reportedly downplayed the threat posed by white supremacists and anti-government violence and reportedly censored some intelligence information under pressure from President Trump. At times, this political pressure led to problematic and inaccurate analysis related to peaceful protest movements, overstating the roles of certain groups, and even reportedly developing intelligence on American journalists. Our national security and the safety of Americans cannot depend on political whims or individual leaders' biases. That is why Congress must work to ensure that analysis conducted by the intelligence community is separated from the political environment and based in facts and in data that accurately assess security threats. The office also struggles with employee morale, a challenge identified by the Government Accountability Office reports and employee surveys, possibly because of a lack of consistent leadership and direction. Since this office was first created 19 years ago, it has had more than a dozen different leaders. Only 3 of those individuals, including one of our witnesses today, led the office for more than 2 years. These obstacles and other challenges must be addressed quickly. Our nation faces very real and deadly domestic terrorism threats, and our national security agencies must ensure that our counterterrorism efforts and resources align with those threats. A recent long-delayed joint report from the FBI and DHS identified racially or ethnically motivated extremists, primarily white supremacists, as the most significant national security threat based on data from recent years. And while I appreciate the initial steps the Biden administration has taken to begin addressing the alarming rise of these threats, it's clear that there is so much more work to be done. American lives are at risk, and we must ensure that we are taking all appropriate action to safeguard the American people and protect their fundamental rights as well. I look forward to hearing from our witnesses who bring unique perspectives on how we can improve the Office of Intelligence and Analysis to meet our security goals. I have no doubt that this committee can work in a nonpartisan way to strengthen our homeland security and protect Americans from all threats, both foreign and domestic.